Ja, då är vi tillbaka i källaren och i tvättrummet i Kungliga Tennishallen. Och här inne sitter en fransman. Han har varit världssexa, ligger nu 15, men är ganska anonym. Kanske är han blyg, fast de andra säger att han är lite crazy. So, Gilles Simon, welcome to If Stockholm Open and the laundry room. It's your first time in Stockholm Open. How do you like it so far?
Well, I feel good. I had a warm welcome. It's the first time, but I feel home already. No, it's a nice atmosphere in the stadium. There are a lot of people coming. You can see that they really enjoy. They really know about the game, and they really enjoy to be here and to watch every match. So it's a great tournament.
And the people, they know you as a tennis player, but not as a person. And you seem to be a little bit shy. Maybe that's not the case. If you describe yourself in 3 words.
It's never easy. No, I'm not shy. I just like to be alone sometimes, but I'm not shy. I don't know. I would say we have the discussion. I have to say crazy because 2 guys in the locker room just told me that I was crazy. So in a way, it must be true. Then I don't know. I think I'm honest, so I will say honest, crazy, and I give you the third one. You decide.
Why did you say you are crazy?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I feel I'm really normal, and they say no, really no, you're not. And I don't know why. I want to figure out why, but they say I'm completely crazy. So maybe I don't know the way I'm thinking.
Do you prefer dogs before cats?
I would say yes, even if I'm not a big fan of animals, like domestic animals. But yeah, I would prefer to have a dog.
Yeah. You are a member of the player council. How big influence do you think you have over the tennis?
0. That's the problem. I want to do it my way. No, we are working a lot. It's difficult because it's taking a lot of time. There are a lot of issues, a lot of problems we are trying to solve to have a better tour. It takes a lot of energy to change some little things. So it's not always easy, but I'm really happy to do it. I think it's a nice way to learn a lot about the sport, how it was built, and just also how to handle things to make it better. And sometimes from the outside you feel, okay, we need to change this, we all agree, and when we really want to do it, then we realize it's more complicated than what we thought. And I really enjoyed to do it.
What do you think is the biggest issue for the player council?
To get all the players working in the same direction. I think the player's body is really strong, but only when he decides that he is working in the same direction. And the problems for the top guys are not the same that for the guys that are ranked 30, that ranked 50, or the guys that are in the top 100. So it's always complicated to get everyone on the same boat.
France and the other 3 countries that have a Grand Slam tournament has enormous incomes from the tournaments. Do you think would it be fair to share with other countries that has players in the draw?
I think, yeah. I mean, I understand. I grew up as a French player. I have with the French Federation. They were helping us a lot. And when you are just a kid, you just feel it's normal because it has been like this forever, and you don't see why it should be different. But one more time, when you start to grow up and to learn about the tour, and you realize, yeah, of course, French Open is a nice tournament. It's a big advantage to have a slam home. It's generating a lot of money, but the money is there because it's a French tournament also, but also because of the players from all around the world. And I think the distribution should be, more equal, but that's how it is. When I was talking about the change, that everyone will agree, but it's going to be tough to change it.
Yeah. And it's approximately 150 players who have a good income from tennis. My suggestion is that you don't play the mixed in Grand Slam to put that money on the ITF tour. Do you agree?
It's two. I think it's two different things. There is the ATP Tour that we are running, where we have some influence, and then there is ITF when we have zero influence. So it's always complicated to mix up and to take some money from somewhere to put it somewhere else. This is something we try to do on our tour. I have many examples, but for example, ATP is helping some challengers that I cannot, I don't know, organize enough tournaments, or we don't have the enough money to do it. Sometimes we try the distribution to take a small percentage from the 1,000 to give it to the smaller tournament. This is something we can do. When you talk about taking from ATP going to ITF, or it starts to be more complicated.
But I mean, that's the same thing, because the Grand Slam and the ITF Tour, if I said ATP Tour, I was wrong. I mean the ITF Tour, the futures and so.
Yes, but one more time, this is I would like to change a lot of things also on the ITF, and a lot of people, they have many successful events in the way. They have the Davis Cup, they have the Olympics. For the slams, they are there also. So I think it's also their job to build a better tour on the future, which is ITF. And yeah, my feeling is it could be better. It could be better. Now, one more time, not one player is sitting at the table. So we just have zero influence on what is happening on this level. We just try to work as hard as we can on our tour.
Talking about Davis Cup, what do you think about Yannick Noah as a new Davis Cup captain for France?
Well, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's strange because Yannick has a huge presence, and he's always there, even if he has never been there for the last 10 years. But he was always there somewhere, and I'm finally happy that we're gonna meet and share something, and to really discover who he is. Because I mean, for the players from my generation, we just don't know him that good. We saw him just a few times in our life, and there are a lot of stories around him, and about what he's done and what he achieved as a tennis player, and also as a Davis Cup captain before, and as a Fed Cup captain also. But when we came on tour, he was not there. So I'm really enjoying to have him now as a Davis Cup captain, and I really believe it's going to be interesting.
So I read you wrong between the lines, that you are not so happy because he hasn't been there.
I was not. It's not that I'm not happy. I just feel in France, the only one who won a slam in the last 40 years, it's him. So he has some experience. He has a unique experience of that, and I think it would have been good to share it. That's what the hope that I had. I think, for example, if you look at what is happening in Spain, they have a lot of world number one, and they stay into tennis, and they teach the young, and then you have other number one, and it keeps going this way. And I think when you make the career that he had, it's really important to share it with the young generation. And I felt it was a bit too bad that unfortunately he had other thing in his head, and or not only him but more the generation, and we had to learn everything ourselves. What I would say.
ITF suggests 4 games per set instead of 6 games. What does you and the player council says about that?
Nothing. This is sometimes the disconnection that we have. It's they come with a proposal that we never discussed. So it just seems unreal. When you say that, I feel they can propose whatever they want. We should be able to work in a closer way. Like we try to build the sport all together, and right now it's not the case, and that's why sometimes you have, they can propose 3 games, 4 games, 6 games, 1 set, 1 long set. No matter what, I think the players, they feel, now this is how we play tennis, this is successful. We don't want to change that.
Is it the same with the tiebreak in 5th set in Davis Cup?
The discussion here is a bit different, because even on the slams, we have 3 slams without it, and US Open already has it. So it's more, we have another one now. and many players have a different feeling. I think the general opinion is the players and people around the tour, they are in favor of no tiebreak in the fifth set. Personally, I think it's a good idea because in my head, when you play 4 hours or 5 hours on the tennis court and you are 6-all in the fifth, no one is better than the other one, so let's finish it and put all the intensity and all the energy left there in one tiebreak. This is how I see it. But some people, they like the 24-22 in the fifth. They feel it's amazing, so I can understand it also. And but I think it's not a huge change.
Who do you think is the best player in the history that has not become number one?
That had not become number one. Well, first, I have to know who has not been number one. But Andy has been number one. No. So I would say Andy. Yeah.
You have to. I mean, you have also Ivan Isevich. You have Vilas, Stitch, Murray.
Andy was more consistent, for example, than Ivanisevic and Vilas. I don't know, had some amazing result also every time. But I would say that Andy could have been number one in any other era. Like he was just unlucky to come at this moment. Maybe it will be still. It's not like it's over. But he had won so many thousands, also many finals in the Slam. Still won 2. The Olympics, maybe the Davis Cup now, and he's really consistent. Like he's been in the top 4 for I don't know the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years already. So I will go for Andy.
Thank you, Gilles Simon, and good luck in If Stockholm Open.